Hello, 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 or as my friend would say, hello. So I wanted to welcome everyone to this specific, well, I guess you can say maybe semi-predictive reading, but it's already kind of been predicted. It was a response to a video with Emil Ortiz, and there was somebody else. I forgot who this person was. She does by location. So anyway, so the reading was specifically about 2034. So, um, they were talking about how very interesting about how the what do you call this? That farms are going to be different. It's going to be plasma technology. Something about cars hovering, and I was like, whoa. And then so I looked up things like that, technological progresses and all that stuff, and there's going to be high frequency light healing and all that stuff, and there's going to be more collaboration. So I looked up specific asteroids, dwarf planets, and a few centaurs here. Um, I think there are centaurs here. I don't remember, but also like fixed stars. So I went into this both at a galactic level, both at a micro-astrological level, and also at a galactic level. Um, so what I'm going to show you is what I do see here is um, when it comes to the government, there is something. It's tied to um, there is something tied to what is this one here? What is the aerosol? The light language stuff. So the government's going to be part of that one. I feel like the government's in charge of that, just kind of communications tied to that. I dated this for January 1st of 2034 to start off the year energy. Um, but then I also see Venus here. So there's going to be something to do with Venusians. So there's a link there. There's something about the Venusians helping apparently with this one. For those who don't know, like Venusians who's like they do exist in a higher plane, I call it plane, but there's more to it than that. And they are helping with this transformation as well. So the government here, so the sun represents this, but also communications or roads, traffic is going to be part of that as well. Um, but I'm seeing here Mercury, is it trying to anything? Eros, is it trying to? No, it's not. There is, however, Ceres, 28 degrees Capricorn that year. That's going to be trine 26, 27 degrees. Sirona, the moon, retrograde Chiron here in Taurus. There's some sort of the building that's already part of this one. I believe the healing is part of that as well. I believe that the farming has a lot to do with this progress. Um, so Ceres represents farms. With Sirona there, I believe that has a lot to do with the collaboration. So farming collaboration, working with hospitals or places where health is involved, that kind of stuff. Like maybe, what we sometimes anything health related. Sometimes we also call like some of them are like holistic medicine, all that stuff. But that's part of Chiron as well. It is retrograde, so it kind of be more like a private level, but people working towards that. Um, Let's see here. So the governments or traditions are coming back with the Sun conjunct Venus, Mercury here, with also Eros here. Something to do with the governments and older traditions, older things, especially involved with this are like maybe older generations part as a part of this process. Um, but there's also a sextile to Baba Mwana Moresa, something to do with farms as well. This has a lot to do with foreign farms or collaboration with foreign farms, but it is in opposition to Sirona, Moon, and Chiron retrograde. That means there might be certain integration of foreign methods or foreign overseas methodologies and techniques and all that stuff. Okay. What else do we have here? With the moon, with the Chiron moon Sirona here in stellium, there's going to be also it's sextile to Mars Chariklo. So Chariklo here represents the healing part, okay, but Chariklo also represents what did I get? Progress as well. So it could be some specific type of progress. A lot something that has to do with high energy, high frequency stuff, possibly. But also with what is this one called? Well, it's just healing. So probably light frequencies as well as part of the sun as well. I'm not sure. It is trying to uh what is this? Just trying to Saturn in Cancer, and the moon here is that. So there's a link to displacement to Saturn here, formulating this stuff and actually make it sort of like a solidified process. But it's retrograde again, so that means it's small, it's private, it's done privately. Same thing with Chaos is actually conjunct this Saturn here, the dwarf planet Chaos. It's something to do with plasma. Ah, okay, there's the plasma energy. And then tied to Prometheus, which is about the advances and progress as well. So there's going to be more humanistic, humanitarian approach to this one. There's this like, the grand water trine to Mars, Chariclo, Prometheus, Chaos, and also Saturn. Yes, Themis is also part of this one, a little bit part of this one, where Themis represents something with advising, I believe. I'm not sure. But so there's something about hovering as well. So there's going to be something about hovering, but I believe it's tied to do with like water. It's the use of something with water. I don't know if it's tied to that one. I don't know. It's something into water. Let's see here. Let me look into Uranus right here. If there's anything conjunct Uranus. Uranus is going to be conjunct Midas at this point. Retrograde Uranus, retrograde Midas. So it's going to be more grounded technology, but still has to do with water. Maybe somewhere in harbor areas. Has a lot to do with the people as well and family areas, maybe family homes. Um, with the conjunctivitis, it shows me that there's farms also involved with this one. So probably like hydro farming, hydroculture, if that makes sense. I don't know with this one. Uh, I'll show you the chart actually. So you can see here, right? Mentioned here the moon in here. And then there's a Saturn here and Uranus retrograde. Okay. Where's Neptune and Jupiter? Okay, so with Neptune, Jupiter is ruling Pisces here. So there's something to do with, what is this one? It's like a return to the past. Ptah is also about returning to the past and going to the future. He's about lasting energy. So just a lot about progress as well. Again, with water, with the growth of that, it'll be kind of like this business related, something to do with, again, with water, seas. Um, uh, it's probably the healing is probably included in healing as well, because this is Pisces, it's healing, subconscious related stuff, or rather it's like the healing of the mind, healing of the emotions, healing of inspiration, healing of the soul. Aten and Pan, it's actually opposite of Aten and Pan. So there's some progress to be had there with more looking at the technological stuff with Aten and in Virgo with conjunct to Pan. So it's going to be everywhere as well. So it's going to be widespread. But it's going to look at the roots of where that healing comes from, and then businesses will flourish. So there's going to be foreign relationships with that one. However, we have here what is this one? Square Mbaba. So Jupiter square Mbaba. So that shows me that what am I seeing here, Mbaba? There's going to be some sort of like challenges with building these farms because maybe the deal something has to do with like relating with people at foreign level, and that's totally fine. It's not going to be necessarily like a hard thing, but there might be certain challenges. It's immutable sign, so it's not necessarily a huge thing. It can die out. It can sort of just be a little problem, so to speak, right? Um, where I'm seeing here, this the North Node in Libra, it's actually square the government, so there might be some sort of challenges with working together. It'll be a new challenge for certain people in the world. Challenges to also the innovations because you got North Node, Square Midas, Uranus, right? But there's a grand cardinal square here actually with the Sun, Venus, North Node, Midas, Uranus, and South Node in Aries. So that tells me right away that there's going to be challenges there. But there's going to be dissolution as well tied to this because you have Pisces here ruling Mars, which rules Aries. Looking into Neptune, though, with the placement of Chariclo and Mars here. Um, where is this? Sorry, where's Neptune? I lost my path here. Where are you? Okay, wait here. Sorry. Thea. It's conjunct Thea. It's actually in almost perfect conjunction. 12 minutes to 7 minutes difference, approximately. Thea here in this case has a lot to do with high frequency. So there's going to be that high frequency involved with the any of the placement in Jupiter, Ptah, Themis, Mars, and Chariklo. So a lot of high frequency involvement, a lot of for high frequency development, but with the support of grounded technology, looking at the little things and working at the microscopic level. I would say something to do with that as well because it's in Virgo. Okay. There's something to do with the farms that has to do with high technology and preservation and going back to also like healing, like sun energy. Helios here is tied to Athanasia with Ceres, so the farming stuff will be. Oh no, Helios is not. Helios is 11 degrees. Sorry, Athanasia, which is the asteroid tied to immortality. So with here, Athanasia has a lot to do with the progress and advances with farming technology. Um, it'll be the anaretic degrees. Actually, Athanasian anaretic tied to the critical degree that Ceres is in Capricorn. With Saturn being the ruler of Capricorn here retrograde, has a lot to do with family homes. There's a lot of development being made at the home level, or at least with certain specific properties in the world. Again, it'll be small because it's retrograde. Um, there might be some sort of restrictions as well because of traditions, but again, it's not, I don't feel like it's a huge thing. The squares, though, that's a big one with the government working with people and the progress for people. It's like it's almost like working together will be quite a challenge because we're so used to right now, at least from this point in time, being people kind of like learning more about themselves. So we're in that direction where it's going to be moving towards that. Because right now we're still in the South Node is Virgo. It's almost going to come full circle in little bit past 2034, because it's going to go into the clockwise direction of the nodes. Nodes is going to go in this direction right here, like this, right? So that's what I feel with this one. All right, let's take a look at the galactic side of this one. Okay, sorry, just a little bit. I'm gonna close that one for now. Okay. So that they said in the video that there's going to be the Andromedans and Pleiadians tied to this one. I wanted to see which ones were involved. And I looked at it and I saw all of them connected um to the sign of both it's both connected to where is this one here? It's in Gemini. Most of them were in Gemini. Actually, no, all of them are in Gemini. Okay. So it's a lot to do with Mercury. There's something about the thoughts coming through the changes coming through the mind to the actually not just the mind itself, but on a physical level, matter level, on a form level, it is going to be it has to do with roads, transmission of energies. The internet is part of this one, certain technologies as well. That's tied to the government, tied to heads of state, parliaments, whatever it is, any sort of heads of states or system or any governing bodies, not necessarily per the world, but also per country, but also per organization. So I'm seeing here it's tied to, yeah, so all of them right here are all from Andromeda, but also the constellation Taurus. We have here from Andromeda Galaxy, Alcyone, Atirsagni, Usharakan, Electra, Calino, Taygeta, Maya, Merope, Asterope, Furibundus, Atlas, Piloni, Althar, Katapothu, Hyadum 1 and 2, Ain, Elnath, and Elheka, all of them from the constellation of Taurus, which are tied to the Pleiadians as well. So that totally makes sense what they said in the video. There's a second part here where many of them are tied to also like that in Taurus, and also get Mercury is also both in Taurus and Mercury. So that's showing me that there's some sort of development with building and structure and having this part of our wisdom, part of our actual embodied knowledge. So they're wanting us to build through this as a society as we move forward as humans. So that's the gist of what I'm getting here. There's a lot of changes it does show here. I forgot to mention Apophis tied to Thea and Neptune here, because Apophis is all about long long for things that are going to happen in the long haul. It is light energy as well. It can be, but it's more about the long haul. I was questioning about Apophis. I wasn't sure about Apophis. Alicanto here, I did put in Alicanto here. Alicanto is conjunct Verona here, and Verona is tied to what did I put Verona here? Veronia, sorry, farms. So there's something connected to light energy with the farms. I don't know if they're working more with like solar energy, um, because it is trying to, is it trying to Helios or Athens? It's trying to Helios, right? But that light energy I feel it comes from which with Helios conjunct Pluto here. The transformation is I'm hearing like something like close to the word, not arrive, like it's there, it's nigh. There you go. It's nigh, so it's near. So this whole thing with light energy and solar energy is going to be slightly different because it's just going to be transformational. Perone is also it is connected to light, but it's also connected to fire. So something about heat energy as well. Alicanto is that as well. Lempo here is also then also trying. Lempo is the one that's actually trying to Pluto and Helios itself. Thus Lempo represents the ability to, well, in this case, Lempo is tied to progress, but Lempo is also tied to embracing the difference within us. With the North Node in Libra here, it's not going to be a huge so-called problem. It's going to be more of a progressive progress, if that makes sense, right? Because we have here a grand air trine between Helio, North Node, and Feronia Alicanto, sorry. So that progress that humans are going to go through, there's going to be challenges, but it's going to flow with the transformational process. It's needed. So that's what I'm seeing here in 2034 with all the support of those people from the Andromedan Galaxy and also Pleiadians as well. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much. And thank you for watching this. I hope that helped, that provided something. That was the fastest I've done a reading for 3 charts, but I hope that helps. See you guys later. Thank you for watching. Have a good day. Bye.